Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential problem. And make sure to stick until the end of the video where I have 3 bonus problems that are similar to this one, which you guys can try to solve. Alright, so I have 60 to the power of 10 over 36 to the power of 5. So I have 4 multiple choice answers which you guys can try to solve. So A, this is 5 to the power of 5. B, this is going to be 10 to the power of 10. C, it's going to be 12 to the power of 6. And D, it's going to be 8 to the power of 6. So if you guys want, you can go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this problem now. Alright, so to solve this problem, 36, this is the same thing as 6 to the power of 2, or 6 squared. So now I have 60 to the power of 10 over 6 squared to the power of 5. I simply substituted in 6 squared for 36. And now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 6 to the power of 2 to the power of 5, that's going to equal 6 to the power of 2 times 5. I have this over 60 to the power of 10. Now 2 times 5, that's 10. So I have 60 to the power of 10 over 6 to the power of 10. And now another property of exponents is that if I have something in the form a to the power of m over b to the power of m, this is the same thing as a over b to the power of n. So 60 to the power of 10 over 6 to the power of 10, this is going to equal 60 over 6 to the power of 10. And 60 over 6, that is simply equal to 10, so I have 10 to the power of 10. And if you check the multiple choice, the answer for this is B. And 10 to the power of 10, this can also be simplified. 10 to the power of 10, this is equal to 10 times 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 10. So it's essentially 10 multiplied by itself 10 times. And this is the same thing as 1 with 10 zeros. So I have 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zeros. So our answer here is 10 billion. 3 to the power of x squared over 9 to the power of x is equal to 81. So first off, 9 here, this is the same thing as 3 squared. And 81, this is the same thing as 3 to the power of 4. So if I replace 9 and 81 with 3 squared and 3 to the power of 4, I have 3 to the power of x squared over 3 squared to the power of x is equal to 3 to the power of 4. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 3 to the power of 2 to the power of x, that's going to equal 3 to the power of 2 times x, which is 3 to the power of 2x. And this is equal to 3 to the power of 4. So now if you notice, all our bases here are all 3. And this actually makes it much simpler to solve this problem. So now another property of exponents is that if I have something in the form a to the power of m over a to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m minus n. So 3 to the power of x squared over 3 to the power of 2x, that's going to equal 3 to the power of x squared minus 2x. This is equal to 3 to the power of 4. So now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n, then this means that m is equal to n. So in this case, x squared minus 2x is equal to 4. So now we have an algebraic equation to solve. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. So then these two cancel out, Now I have x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now I have a quadratic equation, and to solve this, I'm going to be using the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in this case, a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 2, and c is equal to negative 4. So I have x is equal to negative b, so negative negative 2, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 2 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 4. Now I have this all over 2a, so 2 times 1. Now I have x is equal to negative negative 2 is positive 2, plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared is positive 4, minus 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, all over 2 times 1, which is 2. Now I have x is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus negative 16 is 4 plus 16 over 2. 4 plus 16 is 20, so I have x is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 over 2. Now, 20, we can actually simplify this radical. So 20, this is the same thing as 10 times 2. And 10, this is the same thing as 5 times 2. So as you can see, 2 here, this is going to be our outside number, and 5, because this is all that's left, is going to be what's in our inside. So we have 2 plus or minus 2 root 5 over 2. Now we can simply divide both these terms by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I have 1 plus or minus 2, this 2 root 5 over 2 is simply square root 5. So my two solutions for x are x is equal to 1 plus the square root of 5, and x is equal to 1 minus the square root of 5. 500 to the power of 500 over 250 to the power of 250. So now this can be written as 500 to the power of 500 here. This is the same thing as 250 plus 250. So now I have 500 to the power of 250 plus 250 over, I'm not going to change anything for now, so 250 over 250. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m plus n, this is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. So in this case, 500 to the power of 250 plus 250, this is equal to 500 to the power of 250 times 500 to the power of 250 over 250 to the power of 250. Now this can be written as 500 to the power of 250 times 500 to the power of 250 over 250 to the power of 250. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m over a to the power of n, this is equal to, if I have something in the form a to the power of m over b to the power of m, this is equal to a over b to the power of m. So 500 to the power of 250 over 250 to the power of 250, that's going to equal 500 over 250 to the power of 250. And now 500 over 250, that's equal to 2. So now I have 500 to the power of 250 times 2 to the power of 250. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m times b to the power of m, this is equal to a times b to the power of m. So 500 to the power of 250 times 2 to the power of 250, this is equal to 500 times 2 to the power of 250. And 500 times 2 is 1,000, so I have 1,000 to the power of 250. Now, we can actually go ahead and simplify this a little. 1,000 This is the same thing as 10 to the power of 3. So now I have 10 to the power of 3 to the power of 250. And now if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 10 to the power of 3 to the power of 250, that's going to equal 10 to the power of 3 times 250. And 3 times 250 is 750. So I have 10 to the power of 750. And this is my answer. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be solving the problem 9 to the power of 10 plus 9 to the power of 10 plus 9 to the power of 10. And for this problem, I actually have 4 option choices. So for A, I have 27 to the power of 30. For B, I have 9 to the power of 30. For C, I have 27 to the power of 10, and for D, I have 3 to the power of 21. So to first start out, let's go through all these option choices and see if they're right or not. So we first have A, 27 to the power of 30, and how this likely was resulted in was from adding all the bases and adding all the exponents. So we have 9 plus 9 plus 9 to the power of 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is equal to 27 to the power of 30. And this is actually wrong because this is not the proper way to add exponents. So now going from here, this was likely gotten, 9 to the power of 30, by keeping the base the same and then adding the exponents. And this again is wrong because this is not the right way to add exponents. Now we have 27 to the power of 10, and this was gotten from adding the bases but keeping the exponent the same. And this again is wrong as well. That's not how you add exponents. Now 3 to the power of 21, which is by process of elimination the right answer, we're going to see how they got this. So we first start with 9 to the power of 10 plus 9 to the power of 10 plus 9 to the power of 10. And I'm going to factor out 9 to the power of 10. So I get 9 to the power of 10 times 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 9 to the power of 10 times 3. And now this is equal to 3 squared to the power of 10 times 3. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 3 to the power of 2 to the power of 10 is going to equal 3 to the power of 20. And I have this times 3 to the power of 1. So I simply just add the exponents. This is equal to 3 to the power of 21. Now, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share this to any of your friends or family members.